Deep within the whispering woods, nestled in the hollow of a grand oak named Old Barheart, lived a squirrel named Hazel. Unlike her bustling kin who darted among the autumn leaves, Hazel felt a profound weariness settle into her tiny bones. She watched the world rush by. The frantic gathering of nuts, the endless chattering, the constant vigilance against hawks, and found it all overwhelmingly exhausting. The crisp air, the shortening days, they whispered not of preparation, but of an ache for profound stillness. While others saw hibernation as a long nap, Hazel saw it as a beautiful escape, a silent sanctuary where the world's frantic energy couldn't reach her. She dreamed not of waking in spring, but of sinking deeper, forever cocooned in that velvet darkness and perfect quiet. As the golden leaves turned russet and began their swirling descent, Hazel's resolve hardened. She gathered just enough nuts to sustain a normal winter's sleep. But her true preparation was mental. She lined her hollow with extra moss and soft down, creating a nest of unparalleled comfort. When the first true frost painted intricate patterns on Old Barheart's bark, Hazel took a final look at the fading twilight. Goodbye, she whispered, not to anyone in particular, but to the world of movement and sound. Then she curled into a tight, soft ball, tucked her bushy tail over her nose, and willed herself into the deepest sleep she could muster. Her breathing slowed, her heart quieted, and the comforting darkness she craved wrapped around her like a thick, warm blanket. Weeks drifted by in the woods above, marked by snowfall and howling winds. Hazel slept on, undisturbed. Yet, deep within the quietude she had sought, something unexpected happened. The deep, restorative sleep began to thin. Hazel found herself floating in a strange, gray place. Not awake, not truly asleep. She felt an emptiness, a profound lack of anything. There was no dream of summer sun, no memory of nutty sweetness, not even the comforting rhythm of her own heartbeat. It was a void, vast and chilling. The silence she had craved became oppressive, a weight pressing down on her spirit. A flicker of unease, cold and sharp, pierced the numbness. Was this peace, or was it oblivion? One particularly bitter night, a fierce gale rattled Old Barheart's branches. A shard of icy wind found its way through a tiny crack in the hollow, carrying a single, perfect snowflake. It landed softly on Hazel's nose in the depths of her unnatural slumber. The intense cold was a shock, a jolt of pure sensation. It startled her dormant senses. Along with the cold came a scent, sharp, clean, and utterly alive. The scent of frozen pine needles and deep winter air. It was a smell charged with memories of crisp morning runs, of sun glinting off snowdrifts, of the quiet majesty of the woods under a white blanket. The scent cut through the gray void like a knife. Hazel stirred, a tiny, involuntary shiver running through her body. That shiver was the first spark. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, warmth began to seep back into Hazel's limbs. The comforting darkness now felt confining. The silence heavy. A new sensation registered, a deep, gnawing emptiness in her belly, a thirst that parched her throat. The profound stillness she had desired now felt like a prison. She became acutely aware of the rough texture of the moss beneath her, the faint scent of earth and wood, the distant creak of the ancient tree. Life, insistent and demanding, was calling her back. The thought of staying in this numb limbo suddenly filled her with a surprising terror. She didn't want emptiness. She wanted to feel again, even if feeling meant feeling cold, or hungry, or afraid. With immense effort, like pushing through thick, heavy mud, Hazel forced her eyes open, blinking against the gloom. She saw the familiar contours of her hollow, dusted with fine frost. She uncurled stiff limbs, each movement an ache poking her head cautiously out into the world. She was met by blinding whiteness. The whispering woods lay under a deep blanket of snow, glittering under a weak winter sun. The silence was profound, But it was no longer empty, it was the silence of waiting, of suspended breath. She saw the intricate lacework of frost on a nearby branch, the startlingly blue shadow cast by a stump, the delicate tracks of a bird etched into the snow. The sheer, fragile beauty of it struck her dumb. She took a trembling breath, the cold air sharp and clean in her lungs. And it felt astonishingly precious. Hazel didn't immediately bound into the snow. She sat quietly at the entrance of her hollow for a long time, simply observing. She watched the sun climb, painting the snow pink and gold. She heard the soft plop of snow falling from a branch, the distant call of a crow. The gnawing hunger in her belly was uncomfortable, yes, but it was also a potent reminder of being alive. She thought of the warm pulse of spring buried deep beneath the frost, of the taste of the first tender buds, of the sun warming her fur. She understood now. Hibernation wasn't an escape from life. It was life pausing, gathering strength for the magnificent return. The weariness hadn't vanished, but it was balanced by a newfound awe for the vibrant tapestry of existence. The cold and the warmth, the silence and the song, the sleep and the glorious, demanding wakefulness. Hazel took another deep, grateful breath of the icy air, her tiny heart beating a steady, living rhythm against the vast, beautiful silence of the winter woods. She was ready to wait, truly wait, for spring.